A woman bought this cute puppy via a newspaper ad, but soon realized she made a big mistake. When she saw the puppy's picture, the woman couldn't resist getting him, despite the warnings. He was so cute, and he made a great companion for her elderly dog. But as the pup started to grow, she knew she should have listened. He wasn't just any ordinary dog. The lady, who's remained unnamed, is an animal lover and dog owner from Oklahoma. In fact, it was her well-meaning affection for pups that led her to a rather large mistake. It all started with an advertisement. To be more precise, an ad in a newspaper caught her eye. The feature showed two beautiful, white puppies that were in need of a home. Their current owner was asking for $300 per puppy, and she fell in love with one of them in particular. According to the ad, Trigger was super socialized. But there was one catch. The puppies were no ordinary dogs. Indeed, their owner advertised them as wolf-dog hybrids. So they share genetics with both species. Furthermore, Trigger was classed as high content. Essentially, despite being friendly, Trigger had more in common with wolves than he did with dogs. And whether the woman understood the responsibility of a high-content dog is not clear. However, it didn't put her off, and she adopted Trigger. Although Trigger's new mommy formed an instant bond with them, she underestimated the little pup's specific needs. And as Trigger grew older, those needs only became more pronounced. 5 months later, the woman realized she had no idea what she was getting herself into. Wolf Sanctuary described how the realization dawned on Trigger's mommy. She loved the little pup and had a very strong bond with him. At 5 months old, though, it was very clear to his owner that Trigger was not an appropriate family pet. That's because Trigger had already shown his wild side. He would soon chew his way to freedom. Furthermore, he displayed dominant wolf characteristics with her elderly dog. Consequently, Trig might be a danger to the poor pooch in the future. As a result, Trigger was kept confined. When his mommy went out for her day job, she was forced to keep him in a wire kennel in her bedroom. Wolf described the kennel was only a temporary solution, though Trigger's mommy needed a long-term solution. She realized that Trigger would never be happy or healthy at her home. Wolf Sanctuary wrote, Trigger's owner made the difficult decision to try to find sanctuary placement for her beloved pup. That would usually be no easy task. But fortunately, she was in luck. In August 2014, Trigger's mom called Wolf Sanctuary, a place that homes wolf dogs and wolves born in captivity. As luck would have it, Wolf did have space to take Trigger, it said. Wolf made the decision to accept him in the sanctuary. So Trigger got a new forever home, and his mommy got to see him happy. Wolf even said that she'd be able to visit Trigger whenever she could. The only thing that remained was to find the new pup pack to run with. Although it sounds like an easy process, it was actually more difficult than it seems. To begin with, Trigger was matched up with a she-wolf called Sasha. However, despite Trigger's best efforts, Sasha failed to fall for his puppy charm, so the search began anew. With that potential pairing scratched off the list, Wolf explained, we moved on to our second choice, Pox. He was unsure about what to do with Trigger, but was surprisingly tolerant of Trigger's puppy antics. And please, sadly, that pairing wasn't meant to be either. Contrary to the hopes of Wolf, staff Pox didn't make a connection with Trigger. Not only would Pox ignore Trigger, even went out of his way to avoid the young pup. Needless to say, it broke the handlers' hearts to see Trigger rejected again. We were devastated. Trigger was such a sweet, shy boy in desperate need of a friend and playmate, Wolf wrote suddenly. Just when it seemed like Trigger wouldn't find a friend, he met another newcomer to the sanctuary. The new wolf's name was Spartacus. Wolf chronicled Trigger's first meeting with Spartacus on its official website. When they were introduced, Spartacus and Trigger began to play almost immediately. They chased each other and wrestled, and even slept in the same doghouse together. It was truly wonderful to see them. Their personalities were complementary, and each helped smooth out the other's behavioral issues. Spartacus used to howl compulsively, but he stopped since he met Trigger. Trigger, on the other hand, has conquered his shyness thanks to Spartacus's more social approach to life. Not only do the dogs get along famously, they've also made a third friend, their neighbor Tundra. Aside from Spartacus' activities as sanctuary ambassador, the three are inseparable. So much, in fact, that Wolf referred to them as the Three Musketeers. Spartacus, Tundra, and Tigger are now the best of friends. Wolf Sanctuary reported they spend their days playing, exploring their large mountain enclosure, and resting near one another. When the day is done, Wolf believes they'll remain a happy trio for the rest of their days.